First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
So, Sheriff Mark Daniels, you were away, and you drove all night, and now you're back.
Yes, left last Saturday to attend the Western State Sheriff's Association annual meeting in Reno. And it's where sheriffs in over 1,000 counties are represented west of the Mississippi. In fact, we just adopted Missouri. The state of Missouri came on board with us. We voted for their membership. So these are, like I said, state from west of the Mississippi that represent western states. And so it's a great group of folks, sheriffs from all over, and it's packed. We do it up in Reno every year, up at the Pepper Mill, and people say, oh, you get to go to Reno. It was so cold. Back when I pulled in with my bobsled, because it's a two-wheel drive Tahoe, I mean, I slid in town. They had highways closed. I got stuck on a hill and started rolling back, sliding backwards. This is my arrival on Saturday night. It was awful, to be totally honest with you. And it either rained or majority of the time it snowed every day I was there. And they had a big storm coming in, so I left early. I said, there's no way I'm going to get stuck in this storm for a couple of days. And so, yeah, 22 degrees when I left yesterday morning around 6:37.
And while you were there, they said, hey, we have a few things to give you. So tell us a little bit about the awards.
Well, that I'm humbled in regards to that. I was a recipient of two awards, one being the Western State Sheriff Star Award, and the other one was for the Courageous Law Enforcement Leader of 2022, and which I was honored to receive both of them. I really was. Didn't see it coming. I'll just be honest with you, and but I was very honored because you're getting honored through your own sheriffs, which is your own colleagues that recognize you and stuff. So, again, it's a great group of people. You get to meet a lot of sheriffs throughout the country, deal with their challenges, what they're addressing, and everybody has challenges. I'll just tell you right now, whether it's recruiting, retention, budgets, you name it, our situations border. And so, again, it was good. We put on a class. I do it every year for Western States. I would do it for National, too. But Westerns, we actually have an academy on the border. So we have Border Patrol chiefs from the northern border, southern border. We have ICE director from Salt Lake City, Utah, that region. We had the Jessica from Center for Immigration Reform. All these people come and give a class within this border academy talking about the reality of the border, from the history of it to the current. So, I mean, it was packed. I mean, people turned away because it was sheriffs, because we didn't have enough room for them all. But it was a great class, and I commend all the federal leaders that helped me put that together.
And you had Commander Bradshaw with you as well.
Yes. In fact, the detention part of that, in fact, Megan Kennedy, our jail medical director, and Kenny both are part of their detention class. They have a detention academy up there, too. So they're up there all week teaching that class. So, again, Cochise County is well represented when it comes to the Western State Sheriffs. But it's always nice to see my sheriffs, and thanks. I love working with them.
Well, let's talk about something that made the headlines. There was a carjacking in Sierra Vista that kind of went crazy.
It did. And I'm just going to say this. This individual is not a local citizen. He was arrested a few days before for some charges and got released a few days later. He's out of the county area and assaulted an elderly man. Listen, that's a violent behavior when you have an individual that assaults an elderly man to get their property. I mean, that's a violent crime. Those are people that we build jails for. I'll just say that. And this is what he did. He took the car. Good response by law enforcement service to PD and the local agencies looking for it. DPS trooper spotted it, chased it, and it crashed up there by the checkpoints. And I know it looks like a horrific crash. This man chose to do this. Second of all, I mean, this is a violent individual. If he'll assault an 84-year-old man, what would he do to you? And that's how I look at that. And these are people that we need to put in custody. And you always ask the question. He was down there from another area, down here in our county, got snagged, and they took his vehicle and told to put him in jail. He had no wheels. He's left here, and then to get out of the community, he did an aggravated assault, carjacking.
And then also we've got a retirement we want to give a shout out to for the Sierra Vista Police Department, Viwat Noga.
Had the opportunity to attend this last week, and that's before I went to Reno, the Friday before, and that was Viwat. And that's, I'd say his real name, but nobody know who he is. But V spent 20 years at Sierra Vista PD, spent some time with Huachuca City PD. Great, you actually worked with him, you said.
Yeah, we worked at Hastings together way back in the day.
Yeah, just V's been one of those steadfast law enforcement officers in the community. Runs his DJ business, him and his wife, Erin, his wife, and he's known. So I had the opportunity to go over there and just be there when he retired. So we're going to miss V. We wish him and Erin the best of luck, and congratulations.
And some of the things that you're going to do in addition to that, because you're out in our community all the time, is you have an event tomorrow with the VVA.
Yes. The Vietnam Veterans Association. I'll be speaking to them at 10 o'clock at the Sierra Vista Library tomorrow. One of the reasons I came back early, too, I want to get ready for that. But we usually do it at the VFW. This year they put it over at the library. They got some other stuff going on. So it's always an honor when you can go address these heroes. And that's really what they are. They're heroes, our veterans. I just have so much respect and support for our veterans that have served this country and allows you and I to sit here today and speak on this microphone. But so I'm excited to do that.
And then you went away to Reno, but you still have a stop of the week.
I do. I do. It's coming back last night about 10 o'clock and coming out of Tucson. And I'm anxious to get home. I got stuck in the traffic for 2 hours of a car accident between Wickenburg and Kingman, and it was a parking lot. It was a parking lot. You don't know what's going on, but you sit there for 2 hours, and always nice. And so I backed this up, excuse me, for a couple hours. But so I was coming home in slow lane, just with traffic, speeding. It's amazing how much traffic's out there. Arizona's just got a lot of traffic. Nevada's no traffic, so we need to blend that out a little bit. But so car went flying by me. So I get in behind it. I mean, there are people that speed, which many do, but there's a difference between speed and being totally dangerous and unsafe. This car was in that category of dangerous and unsafe. Got in behind it. The speeds run 90 to 95. Drove off the road into the shoulder, came back on, was weaving. First thing I think of is impairment. So I activate the stop, walk up, and address the individual. It was a young girl. I believe she was coming from work, but I identified who I was and talked to her about her speed. She was, well, I wasn't looking at my speedometer. Folks, you got to look at your speedometer. Only one people is responsible for your speed, and that's you driving it. And so I explained to her, I said, listen, it was a small combat car, and I said, listen, you got to slow down. I mean, because there's little room for error at 90-some miles an hour. There's little room. And I told her, you drove off the road. Yeah. Just people believe it. It's like, so I had a discussion to her, gave her some consequences for her driving, and said slow down. And I gotta say, she did slow down. That's our job, is to keep people safe. And scary when you see people driving like that.
And our safety message of the week, actually, Carol came up with this one.
I know. You just have to watch out for the sun being in your eyes in the morning. You do.
You do. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yes. And tell us your story this morning.
Yeah, just pulling out. You have to. I had to roll down my window and use my hand as a shield, and so I could see traffic, only because I couldn't see, and the guy in front of me had no concept. He just pulled right out in traffic and almost caused an accident because somebody was coming. So you have to be careful.
I call that they're driving their own agendas. Like, everybody's supposed to see you. Sadly, and ask any motorcycle rider, they'll tell you the exact same thing. We drive defensively all the time because we have to, because people don't see you. Folks, if you can't see, don't go. The accelerator doesn't mean just because you're there doesn't mean if whatever the situation is, don't pull out if you can't see. And like you talked about, Carol, this morning, lucky it wasn't an accident there. But I also want to add on something to the safety message. Similar to what happened with the carjacking of the 84-year-old citizen, is be vigilant out there. Know your surroundings. I heard a call this morning when I was coming to the radio station here where a neighbor called, said there's a suspicious subject in the alley. I heard the law enforcement get there. They ran the plate in the car. The plate did not match the car. And so anything that you think makes your hair rise on whatever it is that you know is not right, call us. I tell people that all the time. Don't wait till it's too late and say, oh, I was going to call you on that. call us. That you're not going to bother us. I had an individual call me this week on another issue and says, we're not going to call, No, I want you to call. That is our job, and you feed those calls to us. And granted, we got to prioritize depending on what the call is. But a suspicious person in an alley or a suspicious person in your community, we want to be there. And I'm asking folks to be vigilant. When you get out of a car in a parking lot, and the story here in the Herald today, service to Herald, on social media about this 84-year-old man being carjacked. When you get out of the car, know your surroundings. If you see somebody suspicious in the parking lot or see somebody suspicious walking in front of your house, be vigilant to that. And don't be afraid to call. We want to respond and give you a hand on that. I hope it's nothing, but I'd rather have nothing than have something, because we're getting our problems are not our community for most cases. It's people coming here for wrong reasons, becoming abandoned, or have ill intent, and then my citizens come across them. We want to protect you on that.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks, Grady. Thanks, Carol. We'll see you all next week.
And, Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Commander Robert Watkins from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your Sheriff's Office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and welcome, Commander Watkins. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So I understand that the Cochise County Sheriff's Office has received some grants that are going to open up some job opportunities. Let's talk about those grants.
Yes, we received a lot of grants this last year. It's been a busy year. The grant that you're specifically referencing is to create and supplement our Southern Arizona Border Regional Enforcement Team. We received just over $18 million to fully fund that team for a period of 5 years with zero cost to Cochise County taxpayers.
So what are some of the things that will happen with this money?
So we're going to hire 34 people to operate this amazing unit. It's going to be 28 civilians and 6 sworn peace officers. The civilians are going to be broken down into the following. We're going to have 1 public information officer full-time, 1 full-time intel analyst, 2 IT technicians. Those are very important for building our IT software and our technology and helping bounce signal across the Southwest. And what I mean by signal is a lot of people may not know what our SABRE program is. So essentially, the Sheriff's Office has cameras, kind of like game trail cameras, embedded on known smuggling corridors, both drug and humans smuggling across the entire Southwest, from Yuma, Arizona to El Paso, Texas. And all of that data comes into our building, and we have currently 20 National Guard personnel that help staff that and monitor that system 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when we detect a smuggler, whether it be drug or human smuggler, on these corridors, what they do is they pick up the phone and they contact the respective law enforcement entity, whether it be Border Patrol, local sheriff's office, wherever that is, and they dispatch personnel to intercept those smugglers. It's been highly effective. Just since 2017, we've had just under 140,000 detections on our SABRE camera system. Of those, we physically put hands on 40,000 individuals. So it's been very, very effective. So this year, in addition to that intel analyst and all of those IT software technicians, we're going to be hiring 4 civilian maintenance camera personnel. These are people that are going to be out hiking in the mountains and the arid terrain of southern Arizona and changing camera batteries and making sure the cameras are operational. And then we're going to have 20 civilian camera monitors. So these are essentially like dispatchers, and there's a special place in my heart for dispatchers. They do so much for our first responder community, but these people will essentially see something come across the computer screen and then pick up the phone and call the respective law enforcement entity, so it's not as stressful as being a dispatcher. And then we're going to hire 2 civilian camera monitor supervisors. So all in all, we are going to have 28 civilians and 6 sworn personnel. That, again, this is no cost to the Cochise County taxpayer.
And so this is a program that's supposed to be going for 5 years. Are all of these people replacing National Guard? Is that the intent?
No. So some of these are new positions, but the Arizona National Guard, they've been amazing. They've been such a great partner to our mission here in Cochise County. They're going to be pulled out by June 30th. So we really need the community's help in recruiting people. And if you know someone that is 18 years old and wants a career in law enforcement and wants to join the good fight and help their communities stay safe, go to our website and see if being a camera monitor or a camera maintenance person is for you. It is vital to the success of our community and keeping our community safe.
So they can apply at the Cochise County webpage. Is there any qualifications for the camera operators, and what are the qualifications?
Well, essentially, you got to have you got to pass a background. You have to be at least 18 years of age. And there's some other minimal requirements on there, but essentially, if you're a young person, you can be anybody, but the idea is that I know a ton of 18, 19, 20-year-old individuals that have a passion for law enforcement and want to do something. They don't want to leave their community and join the military. This is something that you can do that it directly affects national security.
And you can apply at cochise.az.gov. Just look for the jobs there. That's www.cochise.az.gov. Well, Commander Watkins, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Leah DeLuca from Good Neighbor Alliance.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And Leah, thank you so much for being here, just catching up. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Okay, great. Thanks. Hi, and thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. I'm Dr. Leah DeLuca, and I'm with the Good Neighbor Alliance, which is Sierra Vista's only homeless shelter. I do the grants and the media management, and your Good Neighbor Alliance can house up to like 23 people, depending on the configuration, and we have lots of community programs that we do. Would you like to hear about those?
Let's hear about them.
Oh, they're cool. Okay, so the first thing we've been able to do is we've got a wonderful grant from the Legacy Foundation, and we were able to increase our services to include a day program. So instead of having folks leaving at 8 a.m. and hitting the road, they can stay with us all day long, and we offer mini workshops during the day, just soft skills, how to get along with people, how to do a resume, how to explain gaps in your resume, how to find strengths and weaknesses, those kinds of things. We have a rapid rehousing program where we help folks get housed. We can pay rent for between 3 and 6 months and pay for some security deposits and those kinds of things. We have an outreach team, and we cover all of Cochise County. So our outreach team gets in a truck, and they search and find camps and unsheltered guests and work with them and offer them an opportunity to come in for services, build rapport, so we reach out for that. We have a laundry and shower program where you can come in on Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. and take a shower, do a load of wash, have something to eat, and meet up with some of the Cochise County Health Department. They stay with us for the week and take a look at folks, make sure they're doing okay, and gives you a chance to meet our staff and see if you might want to come stay with the shelter.
You feed them as well.
We do. I mean, it's light food, breakfast, those kinds of things, but we do that. We have an evening program where we feed. We're very lucky that we have churches and a variety of volunteers that will come in and cook a nice hot meal for our staff and for our guests for the evening.
So go ahead.
I'm sorry. So you only have room for 23 people, though?
it depends on the configuration, so up to 23 people. We have a dorm that's for 9 men, and then we have private rooms for single women and or families.
So that's what you do for the community. What can the community do for the Good Neighbor Alliance?
Well, we have some projects right now that we're getting ready to offer some fundraising opportunities, so people can donate directly to a project if that's a project that they want to support, or they can certainly offer us donations to simply run the shelter. So our very first project that we're going to be doing is building a kennel. So that homeless with animals and pets will have a place to stay. We have a very good relationship with Going to Grandma's, but that's pretty far away. And folks have lost a lot, and they don't want to lose their pet on top of it. So hopefully with our shelter, which will cost us about $20,000, so we're going to be looking for some help with that. And then we're going to look to build a dorm for men. So we're looking to house another 24 single men in a private dorm still on the property. And that will open up the men's dorm for single women, and that will open up the women's area for families.
And you guys are also looking for monetary donations, obviously, but volunteers as well.
We do. So if anybody would like to come and help us garden, because I got a grant for gardening, so we're going to be putting in a garden so that we can grow our own vegetables, so we'll have some healthy, fresh food for folks when it comes time to cook. And we have kids that could use help with homework. We have a playground that's going up, so if you want to help us build our playground and work with that, please feel free. And if you feel like you can offer a skills building class, even if you wanted to come out and just we have someone who comes out and does haircuts, and somebody else who comes out and does Pilates, chair Pilates with us. So if you think there's any little class that you might want to teach during our day program or on the weekend, please feel free. We are also getting ready to have an open house. We don't have a date for it because we've been there for 20 years. So if you would like to donate anything for our silent auction, we would be happy to have that.
So out of all these programs and all the cool things you do, how can people get a hold of you at Good Neighbor Alliance?
You can go onto our website, which is svshelter.org. You can go on to our Facebook page, which is the Good Neighbor Alliance, or you can call us directly at 520-439-0776. Or you can even reach out to me directly on my work cell, which is 520-457-8043.
Well, Leah, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
That's Leah DeLuca from the Good Neighbor Alliance. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Mr. Eric Peterman from Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Co-op.
First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County. And I'm sorry, I just have to say this really quickly. Your fingers are so fast on that board, because last I heard was 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden you were live. So welcome back, Cochise County, all due to Grady's magic fingers there.
I know where all the buttons go.
It's a good thing, because that was just supersonic speed. Eric Peterman, thank you so much for being here.
Hi. Good to see you guys.
First thing we want to start off with is, again, thank you for sponsoring First Watch on the radio station, because Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, you guys love community.
Oh, we do love community. That's true. That's consistent throughout. Youth camps. We just got done with the Youth Engineering and Science Fair, and that's such a beautiful event because, you go to the football game, you go to the basketball game, you celebrate the young kids and you celebrate the athletes. But Youth Engineering and Science Fair is an awards night. We gave away about $28,000 that night. And it's not our money. It's actually money from the foundation. So you're not paying your electric bill to pay an award to a high school student. But it's money from the foundation, and I can explain that if you need me to. But it's a night that really does honor academics in the truest sense. So 5th through high school, and they build these science projects, and some of them are pretty remarkable. The one that was the grand prize winner for the high school is a universal screwdriver, and it can fit. It's a bit that can fit any. You can put it down anything. And
I could use that.
Yeah. There's parts of my head that could use it too. Good. So it was a really nice night, and we had a great turnout for it, and celebrated community from Wilcox, from Benson. We had homeschools. It was great. Really enjoyed it. So
and some of the things that you're doing to help the energy field, I guess.
The energy.
Tell us a little bit about your project that you have going to McNeil with solar.
Yes, thanks. So it's a 160-acre plot. Right now, if we're trying to deal with an energy market that's just crazy, and Jason is our CEO. Jason Bowling is our CEO. He told me when he literally the day that he started, the price for a million British thermal units, BTUs, was $4. Okay, and that had been the average for more than 10 years, and that's the average, so it was lower. And then when the day he took office, it started to average $6. And so we were talking about it, and it was like, people are going to know your name, Jason, because the price of electricity has been prohibitive. There's no hiding from that. The fact is, though, that it's not just us. We incurred a significant uncollected fuel bank debt, which is what's contributing to that nickel that's on your bill called the wholesale fuel adjuster. That used to be a negative number. For us, it was a $22 million uncollected liability. For APS, which services more than 1 million customers, it's $474 million. So it's affecting all utilities everywhere, not just in Arizona, but all over the United States. What we're trying to do, what we're doing, and this is largely the foresight of our board of directors and our senior staff leadership, is we invested in expanding our solar portfolio, and McNeil is our first step in that direction. That's going to generate 20 megawatts of power, which would be enough to power about 5,000 homes. We're also going to put our first battery system with that, so there's some backup there. In addition to that, we're able to work with our primary power supplier, which is the Arizona Electric Power Cooperative, of which we're a member. That's the plant that's over in Cochise that you see, the Apache Power Station. Outside of that plant, we're participating in the construction of 2 fast-ramping natural gas turbines. Those turbines can turn on within a couple hours. The traditional way of making electricity, turning on a turbine of that size, usually can take days. Literally, can take days. These will turn on in a couple of hours, and so, in complement with increasing our renewable resources, we're going to be using these fast ramping so that when the sun goes down, we can ramp up these fast-acting natural gas efficient and keep the power flowing.
It sounds like a plan.
I talk too much, don't I?
No, I actually understood all of that. So, but I don't know what a turbine is. Tell us what that is.
So that's how you generate your electricity. It's
just an engine, or is it?
Yeah, it's the technology that we've had for more than a century.
Okay.
And we all want to be. Everybody wants renewable energy, right? I mean, it's the answer. The challenge with that is that transitioning from our existing. So we started, for years, we used coal, right? And then we figured out that, hey, you know what? That's really not the best for the environment. We put scrubbers on, on the chimneys where we burned the coal, but still, coal is not the answer because it creates carbon footprint. So to move from that, we went to natural gas. And natural gas is great, but it's still a fossil fuel, and it still leaves a carbon footprint. And so what we're seeking the best answer, which is a clean, renewable source. And that's, in Arizona, that's the sun. It might not work in Connecticut where it's cloudy every day, but in Arizona, it makes a lot of good sense. And so we're increasing the size of our renewable portfolio so that we're less energy dependent. The power that the Apache station can't generate to meet our need, we have to go to the open market, and that's where the price really gets crazy. And so what we're going to do is increase our renewable resources, reduce our dependence on the open market, and even increase our energy independence so we can control the price and keep it low for our members.
Are you ever going to have those big windmill-looking things like you see in Palm Springs?
Probably not.
Okay,
that's what I thought a turbine was.
That's what I thought it was too.
Although I feel blessed that we're on the radio station today after your tower blew over.
Yes, that was no fun.
So there is wind. It's just we don't have consistent wind. They're starting to put a lot of those in just offshore in the ocean because there's a pretty consistent wind there.
So the bottom line here is Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative is always looking for ways to keep the cost down.
Always, and that gets lost in the equation. People associate it with, I guess the best example was published in the Arizona Republic here about 2 weeks ago. They had an article, and it talked about the fact that this fuel liability is a problem for all utilities, and we're a cooperative, and I can explain that, but the difference between us and APS and TEP and other utilities across the country is they were developed by investors. We all needed electricity. People put their money out, and they expect a return on that, investor-owned. So what happens when you incur a fuel liability like we have here? They increase the price, right? So APS customers are seeing a $25 rate increase, and then they'll also get a surcharge for the fuel liability. So it's no fun being an electric customer anywhere, but it's not as bad here as it could be if we were an investor owned instead of a cooperative.
Well, we appreciate what you do to keep the costs down, that's for sure. Well, coming up in April on the 20th, you've got an annual meeting that you guys do. Oh, it's annual. It's every year.
There you go. It's that time of year. Yep. April 20th, the gym in Benson High School, and certainly encourage all of our members to come. We usually have a little gift we give when they attend. We need to get a quorum at that, and in the past we've always retired a truck and then held a drawing and presented the truck to the winner. This year, we wanted to do something that helps everybody. So we'll be giving away a $25 billing, $50, I think, $50 bill credit to everyone who attends. And then to members who don't attend, we're going to give away 100 $50 gift certificates and do that by random drawing. So we're trying, we're really trying hard, seriously. And our new CEO, Jason, pulled the trigger and took all of our operating margin, all of it, from last year, 2022, about $8 million, and put it against that fuel bank. Again, trying to, help the members, keep the cost lower if we can.
And what's the takeaway from that meeting when you attend?
So, the gift. No.
Sure.
Well, it'll be a presentation by Jason, the CEO. There'll also be an important presentation by the board president. That's Curtis Nolan, who's in Wilcox. You'll also swear in the newly elected members of the board. And then we also announced the award scholarships. The foundation, SSVEC Foundation, announces the awards for high school students. We have 35 awards of $3,000 that we hand out. 5 of those this year, this is the first time we've ever done this, are for technical schools. So maybe you're not going to a secondary school, but you're going into auto repair, or you're going specifically into computers, something that has a technical aspect to it. We're going to be picking 5 of those this year for the first time.
So you have all kinds of good information going out, being transparent, and I've been to many of your annual meetings, and you do, if you think that you're just going to go and get the gift, I get it,
yeah.
But you do have a takeaway of a lot of really good information that people just generally don't know behind the scenes, but it impacts them ultimately in their own life. So it's a really good thing for that. What time is that meeting again?
So it opens at 6 with registration, and then 7 o'clock is when the business meeting is.
Right. So people can finish work and then they can go over there, and it's really, again, a very informative way to spend your evening.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Obviously, when utility bills are high, we have concern there'll be rioting. No, I'm just kidding. But we do give out a lot of information at that. And there's 2 publications they can look for in the next couple of weeks. The first is Currents magazine will be in mailboxes, I'm going to say, in about 10 days. Okay, and this edition I'm really proud of, because it's packed full of really good information. Not so much about the cooperative, but about your neighbors. And so look for that. And then we also mail out our annual report, which has all the financials, talks about a lot of the activities that we've done in 2022, and that'll be in your mailbox as well, and that'll be closer to the annual meeting right around the beginning of April.
So you at Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative announced a while ago that Jack Blair was retiring, and you're going to be announcing soon that you have a new marketing manager.
Yeah, so you don't replace Jack. I mean, he's been the face of this cooperative with Creedon and with Jason for generations, right? 21 years. Remarkable guy. He's taken an active interest in the community, supports a lot of organizations with his time, and pulls the trigger on donations from the foundation, etc. So you don't replace Jack. He's a wonderful man, and he's talented, and he's done wonderful things. He retires, and you have to replace him. So what we've done is Marcus Harston has been with the company for 21 years. He was actually Jack's first hire when Jack came on.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he's taking over as Marketing and Communications Vice President. Jack was Member Services Vice President. We've kind of shuffled some of the responsibilities, and so we're excited about Marcus.
How can people get a hold of you at Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative?
Email Peterman, Petermann, at ssvec.com, or call me 520-507-2693. Thanks for your time today.
You bet. We thank you for coming in and talking to us. And again, thank you for sponsoring the show, First Watch.
You bet.
Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So go ahead and reach out. We have our number, 520-432-9500. We have our Facebook page at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels, and that'll take you to our links for our Instagram and our Twitter.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only on 92.3